Today in Getting Real with the Housewives, we reveal the real reason Melissa and Joe did not attend Teresa Giudice's wedding. Plus, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Sheree Zampino tells us what she really thinks of Sutton and Garcelle's friendship.
As her friend, I just don't want anybody taking advantage of her, kindness and the way she does friendship.
And Leanne Locken tells us why she thinks she was set up to fail on Real Housewives of Dallas.
If I'm broken, I'm going to show that I'm broken. Mm-hmm. If I'm surviving and soaring, then that's what I'm going to show. I just wanted to be authentic.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here, and welcome to Getting Real with the Housewives. I'm riding solo this week, but we have a lot to get to. Of course, Teresa's wedding, a full breakdown, why Melissa and Joe didn't attend, who else skipped the wedding. We're going to break it all down, and we have some great interviews for you as well. But of course, last week got a lot of people talking about Melissa and Joe's wedding. So let's kick it off with Sheree says, I'm not surprised. I think it was a wise choice not to attend a wedding begrudgingly. Time to separate since there's so much bad blood. Now, Maddie Sophia says, how long are they going to ride Teresa's coattails? Get off the show already. It's tiring. They need another storyline other than Teresa is a bad sister. A lot of people going back and forth. A lot of people on Teresa's side, a lot of people on Joe and Melissa's side. We're going to get into it. Joe and Melissa also did a podcast where they kind of talked a little bit about why they decided not to go, saying that they were devastated, but do wish Teresa well. So let's get into it. Let's get into our news of the week, and let's just recap Teresa's wedding because, wow, this is full on Jersey. She looked beautiful. She got married to Louis on August 6th at the Park Chateau Estate in East Brunswick, New Jersey. She wore a white mermaid cut strapless wedding dress with sheer gloves and a large tiara, very large. As Louis said, I do. This took place in front of a heart-shaped flower arch. He wore a white jacket to the wedding. Her Real Housewives of New Jersey co-stars, Jennifer Aydin, Dolores Catania, who were both in the wedding, Margaret Josephs, Jackie Goldschneider, they were in attendance. And, of course, a lot of other housewives, including Phaedra Parks, Dorinda Medley, Kenya Moore, Jill Zarin was there. She showed a lot of photos as well. And Ashley Darby was also in attendance too. And of course, everybody was talking about her hair. Now, her hairstylist did sit down with Andy Cohen, and she said that it was $7,000 worth of hair extensions and 1,500 bobby pins were put in place. I wonder if Louis helped her take out these bobby pins because that probably took forever. But her hairstylist said that she wanted to have this fairy tale moment. This was full on Jersey because, Jersey, I'm from Jersey, big hair, don't care. And that's exactly what she did. But it was kind of reminiscent of her previous hairstyles for her wedding to Joe. So a lot of people were talking about that as well. But overall, it looked like she had a great time. There was dancers, performers there. Her daughters also served as bridesmaids, as well as Louis' sisters. So it was definitely a family affair. But of course, Teresa's family was not in attendance with Melissa and Joe, and now a source exclusively told Us Weekly that the couple made a last-minute decision not to attend the wedding after a blowout fight, and they planned to be there, but Melissa was blindsided by a rumor about her marriage. Now, an insider explained that the pair's absence will likely have lasting consequences on the relationship between the two couples, explaining Teresa may not forgive Joe after this and vice versa. An insider adds that Teresa was given a day's notice about them not attending, so it wasn't like she was blindsided the day of. She moved on with her wedding and didn't let it ruin her day. The Gorgas did feel that they made the right decision. She said a lot of hurtful things about their marriage. As for that rumor that Louis and Teresa did request Joe and Melissa pay for their plate at the wedding, Louis did take to Instagram and said, we would never in a million years ask for money from Joe and Melissa. We are not petty. Joe and Melissa were missed. Now, like I said earlier, Joe and Melissa did kind of set the record straight on her podcast, saying that they were devastated that they missed a wedding, but felt that his sister really didn't want them to be there. He said that something did go down at the finale of filming of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and something was said about Melissa and Joe and their marriage, and they just felt like they couldn't go back from it. Joe said that after all these years that they need to remove themselves from a toxic situation, and he felt like that he is having that with Teresa, and he's just not going to have it anymore. He did say that the two of them spent a quiet day down the shore together, and it was really hard. They had to to explain to their children why they weren't attending the wedding. And it had to do with what went down at the finale. They couldn't get into specifics, but I'm sure a lot of people have been seeing online that it had to do with a cheating rumor around Melissa and the marriage. They're denying that. They're saying that partial truths of what happened at the reunion or at the finale are out there, but not the whole truth. And we won't know that until we see the upcoming season of New Jersey. Joe did say that going forward, he's not going to be holding anything back, that he knows a lot of things that went down between Teresa and Louis and the two of them that he's not spoken about on camera. But it seems like going forward, that he's just going to let it all on the table. I mean, makes good TV for us, but a sad situation that has to do with their family because, like he said, Teresa's his only sister. They lost both of their parents, so they really only have each other. So it is a sad situation. I would love to see or read what everybody else has to say about this. Are you Team Teresa? Are you Team Joe? Do you feel like they're ever going to get back on track, especially after he missed the wedding? It seems like maybe there's no going back after that one. But Joe and Melissa weren't the only ones not in attendance that did score an invite. Andy Cohen enjoyed a camping weekend in Montana. Luann de Lesseps sends her well wishes, and Ramona Singer did not appear at the wedding after, you remember, she accidentally leaked the initial wedding invite. So I wonder if Teresa took back the invitation or maybe Ramona just didn't want to show up. I would love to know the story behind that one. And then, of course, Teresa's best friend, Dina Manzo, was not in attendance as well. And there's been rumors flying around that they had a falling out, possibly over Louis, possibly not. A lot of people called her out on social media for posting these cryptic quotes the day of the wedding and not sending congratulations to Teresa. She said, I post these quotes every single day. There is life outside of reality TV. There is, but not on Getting Real with the Housewives because we break it all down. So let's get into this week's Real Talk. And we caught up with Leanne Locken, who we haven't heard from in a minute. Of course, she's from Real Housewives of Dallas. She talked about her time on the show, if she would ever return, and why she felt like she was always set up to fail. Take a look. Did you almost feel like you were kind of set up to fail at times then?
I was set up to fail every year. And the problem, and I said this, I don't remember what reunion it was, but I said this every year. You know, the thing that think that the producers and that Bravo never got about me is that I truly live the life of a phoenix, which means if I get to the end of my rope and I see no hope, scorched earth is my only policy left because I know I'm going to rise again. Mm-hmm. And that's how I've always been, you know?
Would you do reality TV again? Is that like something that you definitely, is that maybe something that's in the works for you?
In a heartbeat. I mean, for me, reality TV, you know, it's funny because as the show ended, you know, I would have my cast reach out to me and be like, I just want you to know, you know, the producers really wanted me to do that, did that. And it's so funny because the producers never came to me and told me to do anything. And I think that's because in the very beginning of every year, I went straight to the executive producer, which we had a new executive producer every single year, and said, here's the deal. Don't ask me to lie. Don't ask me to do anything that's not of my character, and we'll get along just fine. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie to the audience. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be, if I'm broken, I'm going to show that I'm broken. Mm-hmm. If I'm surviving and soaring, then that's what I'm going to show. You know, I just wanted to be authentic.
Right. And I mean, do you feel like the other ladies at times weren't? Obviously, like you said, if producers are telling them to do things, did you feel that in the moment too? You're like, that I know that that's not you.
Well, it was really difficult for me because I was, you know, Cameron Westcott even said this to the vice president that was over our show. The only person who is the same on camera and off camera is Leanne. Mm-hmm. And that made it hard because you get on camera and you're like, where the hell did this person come from? And then you get off camera and they're like, hey, girl, you know, you just, you know. And I'm like, no, I don't just, you know. Mm-hmm. You're going to come for me. That's going to go over into our real lives. Yeah. And you need to be aware of that. So, you know, you decide now. And they all decided that, you know, TV was where they wanted their loyalty.
Would love to know if you guys would like to see Leanne back on your screens. if Real Housewives of Dallas ever comes back to Bravo, or maybe Peacock. Be interesting. All right. Well, we also caught up with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, a newcomer, Sheree Zampino, who I am loving this season. I was so sad that she wasn't on last night's episode, but she told us what she really thinks of BFF Garcelle's friendship with Sutton. Doing this show now for this season, do you want to be a full-time diamond holder? Is that what, do you want to do that?
Let me say this. I would love to be offered it. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see, we'll go from there. But yeah, I would love to be offered the diamond.
I know. Well, I mean, fans want you to do that. I mean, I know, I'm sure you've seen the fan response and people are absolutely loving it.
And I'm so, trust me, I'm so grateful for all the positivity and just, I mean, the fans have been amazing to me, extraordinarily welcoming. So it's been good. It's been good.
What was your reaction to Erica telling Garcelle that Sutton is a liability in her friendship? Because, Garcelle and Sutton also have a very close friendship. She's always kind of had her back. But do you feel that Sutton is a liability?
Now, liability is a strong word. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying, I'm not taking anything. Erica has her opinion. I'm not going to use the word liability, but I do see, I'm going to get some heat for this, but I do see, I see Garcelle standing up, a lot for Sutton, playing cleanup a lot. Now, I don't want that kind of friendship where I always have to clean up behind you. And, I don't mind coming to, your aid as your friend, but now is it intentional? Are you doing this on purpose because I'm going to support you? So, yeah.
Have you told Garcelle?
I'm in trouble.
Have you told Garcelle that? Does she know that you're?
I have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how does she? And what was her response?
She was very quiet.
Yeah, I know.
And it's funny because I didn't know Erica told her that.
Interesting.
I didn't.
You had that conversation before you knew Erica.
Yes, I did. I didn't use the word liability, but Garcelle's my friend. So as my friend, I'm concerned and I see, they have a cute connection. They do. It's playful. It's the friendship seems to be authentic. Mm-hmm. I just, as her friend, I just don't want anybody taking advantage of her, kindness and the way she does friendship.
Really interesting that she told Garcelle that she saw some red flags in Sutton even before Erica brought it up. So I wonder if maybe this will be a storyline going forward. But I love how she said that I'm probably going to get some heat for this. So I would love to know if Garcelle gave her a phone call after seeing what she said in our interview. All right, well, let's get into our Real Housewives Rewind and talk about Beverly Hills. Big episode, of course, Lisa having this breakthrough moment about her mom, really breaking down at Derick's a charity event. And it was really sad to see. It seemed like she was channeling all of her anger and frustration and sadness out on Sutton. And I think Sutton handled it really well. But, it's got to be an extremely difficult time to lose your mom. And then 2 months later, even a week later, she was back filming and kind of putting her life out there. So definitely a sad moment to see Crystal opening up about her eating disorder. And then Kyle causing a little bit of trouble at the gala, kind of poking the bear with Sutton. Lisa, did you really tell Sutton to get the F out of her house? It seems like Kyle she knows her role and knows how to stir the pot. And she definitely did that well. Kathy dropping these just hysterical moments throughout the show too, not knowing who Melissa Etheridge was. But wow, what a musical performance. What a get. I still wonder if she heard the argument upstairs and she's like, what did I get myself into? Moving on over to Dubai, the women had an amazing vacation excursion. And it seemed like they were all getting along until this moment at the end between Ayan and Caroline Stanbury. And it seems like I'm on Team Caroline on this one. I would love to know what you guys think, because it just seems like Chanel just wasn't getting what Caroline was trying to say. And she wasn't trying to put her down. She wasn't trying to disparage her success or anything like that. She was just trying to make a point, and Chanel just wasn't having it. So based on conversations that I've had with Chanel, after this season aired, it doesn't seem like she and Caroline are in a really good place, and she's not in a good place with Lisa either. So definitely interested to see how this one plays out. Moving over to Atlanta, also on a cast trip to Jamaica. I am loving Kenya getting her groove back, even though he may have dipped out during the dinner because lots went down between Kandi and Marlo, arguing over, Marlo sending the boys away to live with their aunt, Kandi being too invested in her mom, Todd calling Marlo out for paying her way into the friend group. This is definitely a to be continued moment because it's getting interesting. And I think Sonia definitely redeemed herself from the birthday party extravaganza. All right, well, let's get into our social spotlight of the week. And I have to highlight Margaret Josephs because she posted this photo of she and her husband, Joe, at the wedding or before the wedding because they're in their house. And Gary Janetti said, "I said you'd get invited." And she commented, "You are psychic." I mean, based off of last season, there was no way that I ever thought that Margaret would be at the wedding, but hey, it seems like hell froze over. They mended their relationship. She was at the wedding along with Jennifer. Dolores and Jennifer were posing for pictures together. And we know that they ended off last season at the reunion in a heated argument. So it seems like everybody else is okay, just not Melissa and Teresa. And Melissa even said on her podcast that she is okay with everybody else attending the wedding. She wanted Teresa to have her special day. And based off photos, videos, it definitely seemed like she did. All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Getting Real with the Housewives. If you want to listen to my full interview with Sheree, make sure you listen to our Getting Real with the Housewives podcast. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and we'll see you guys next week. Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly magazine.